All right, so he's a model, an actor. He's best known for his roles in the iconic shows Supergirl, The Game, Law and Order SVU, Desperate Housewives, True Blood, and that's just to name a few. He's also had roles in some of your favorite movies, A Fall from Grace, Just Right, About Last Night, Nobody's Fool, Glory Road, and April 16th, the one I'm most excited about, Mortal Kombat. He plays Jax, which by far is my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. Let me ask you this on a serious note. Describe your identity. Who is Mehcad Brooks? What would that sound like?
And so for me, like I'm in a constant state. I try to be in a perpetual state of beginning to understand,
Mm.
and that's who I am. And the identity, like for if we're talking identity, first I'm a human being. I'm a spirit. First and foremost, I'm a spirit. That's how I identify. I'm a spirit. Second, I'm a human being. Third, I'm a son. Like I'm a son. I'm a boyfriend. I'm all these different things. And in there, I'm a Black man as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I found leading with that is a certain type of interaction, right? That is a certain type of interaction. And when you choose that interaction, you start to receive things that are based in that interaction, meaning you might close doors.
Mm.
Now you can go through those doors and still be a Black man when you get into those doors, but you close that door by leading with that.
Mm. And I think
this is not checkers. This is chess.
I identify with what you're saying, and I think
Yeah.
that has the potential to be really what's the word I'm looking for? Like that ruffles some feathers. That may ruffle some feathers because a lot of people, like you said, they lead with that. I'm a Black man first, and I get that.
That's fine.
But we're human first, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah. So, but I don't want to get into that rabbit hole right there, right?
Yeah,
So this podcast is called the Get Your Fit Together podcast, right? It's not a fitness podcast by any means, but fitness was the vehicle that the life lessons that I needed to learn was taught to me through fitness. And you're a fit guy. You play a lot of action roles. Like I know you're passionate about playing action roles. What role has fitness played in your life?
Oh, it's kind of always been there, but for me, like I think fitness is more than just physical fitness. I think it's also mental fitness and emotional fitness, holistic wellness, if you will, like eating right, preventative medicine, making sure that you're taking care of yourself. We have this thing called the Widowmakers, particularly in the Black community, where people about 38, men particularly about 38 to 45 years old, can look healthy, but because of the food that they're putting into their bodies, because of their lifestyles, because of the lack of sleep, because of the stress, the cortisol levels that are going up, because of racism, because we're interacting with these societal agreements that we have based on our skin that causes us to have more stress. We're dying sometimes when we look healthy, but because our diets aren't great and our preventative healthcare is not great and our stress levels are through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also listen to aggressive music, which does something to your equilibrium in your body. That I mean, whether you like it or not, it does something to your peace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to say that I don't like hip hop. I love hip hop, but you got to balance that. Holistically speaking, like if you're trying to be healthy throughout the board, like across the board, your emotional health is affected by sound waves. Your emotional health is affected by BPMs. It is affected by the words that you're hearing constantly day in, day out. And if you're hearing constantly day in, day out that somebody is gonna have sex with your girl, is gonna shoot you and smack you in the face and all this kind of shit, you like, eventually that starts to have an effect. So for me, fitness is more than just making sure I go to the gym. It's making sure that I feel fit emotionally, and like if I'm crying if I need to, or I'm asking for help if I need to, or I'm going to therapy if I need to. It's the psychological wellness, it's the sociological wellness where I'm taking breaks from having to always be, what people call an activist. What people call activism, I call humanitarianism, because Black people are human. Mm-hmm. And humanitarianism is about extending and improving human life and improving the quality of human life. So to me, that's humanitarianism. But sometimes you got to take a break on that too, because there's so much gaslighting. So like that becomes stressful. So I just make sure that I don't always achieve it, but I try to get 7-8 hours of sleep. I try to make sure that I'm in the gym as much as I possibly can. But I'm also what's in the fridge, what's in the pantry, how late are you eating, what kind of fuel are you putting into the body, not just food wise, but self-talk, music, who are you keeping around you? It's, to me, that's all fitness.
That's your diet, right? So your diet is not just what you're eating, right? Your diet is, like you said,
everything you consume.
Everything that going in your mouth, in your eyes, in your ears is a part of your diet. So, and I've had conversations with people, and I lose them when I tell them, like, yo, listen, I'm conscious of how I love hip hop. You know, it's been a part of me forever, but I'm very cognizant because I'm a sponge energetically, Mehcad. So, and I feel it. I feel certain lyrics, and like you said, certain BPMs and certain like I feel it. So that's dope that you brought that up, man, because, you know, like I said, I've lost people in conversations when I brought that up, when I brought up the music.
Well, it's like this. So like every music is made to a certain hertz and a certain frequency, right? So like the universe has the frequency of it's like 487. I'm gonna mess this up, but let's say that the universe is a 531 hertz frequency, and that means that's peace, that's harmony, right? So you play music in that frequency. Now I just messed it up, I'm sure, but like if you can Google it, like what's the frequency of the universe, and there's music that's based on that, and you play that music, and Bob Marley is tuned to that, by the way. So when you hear Bob Marley, that's why everybody sort of goes like, everybody kind of relaxes, right? Everybody kind of like is a little bit behind the beat. They're kind of leaning back. They want to move. They want to dance, but it's love. You don't ever see somebody fighting the Bob Marley, right?
Yeah, facts.
Right? You know, people don't put on Bob Marley to get hype. Like, you know, they put on Bob Marley to be at peace.
Yeah. How did you discover consciousness?
I got a theory that we all rediscover consciousness. I think we all know it. I think that we're born with it, and we're born with a relationship to it. And I think what happens is like we have these sociological factors, like when it comes to school or friends or family, that sort of take us out of whatever that relationship is, and then they put us into one that's already established, whether that's Christianity or any organized religion, or you know, a social hierarchy within school, because like you want to be popular, you know, you don't want to have all these imaginary friends and talk to whatever you came to the social situation with naturally gets minimized by your surroundings, your environment. And I think we're all rediscovering consciousness. For me, it was kind of always knocking, and then I had a death experience. May 20th, 2009. I flatlined. I was in a hospital. I had a parasite that I got in Africa, and it was misdiagnosed, and so they kept giving me a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of medicine and treatments and procedures I didn't need. And then finally they found out what it was, and they gave me some medicine that I had an allergic reaction to. And long story short, because I'm writing a book, but so I'm kind of tired of telling the story, but like it's not your fault. But it's like I'll just make a long story short. Like I crossed over. I saw what I saw. It was undeniable. And what I saw was also like very familiar. I knew it was a place that souls go to wait. It just felt very familiar. It felt like I was going back somewhere. And it felt like where I was going back to was home.
Yeah.
And I experienced other souls doing the same thing. And my experience was cut short, and I went back to this light. And that light became the light of the hospital, frankly. But it was almost as if my soul's memory had been jarred, like not just like at the time I was 27. So it wasn't just what Mehcad Brix had learned in those 27 years. It was stuff I didn't know that I knew, right? Like specifics about lessons that. So if you look at life like this, look at consciousness like this. The human body is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It is the vessel that carries us through this experience. However, it is when you get out of your car, are you still you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can always get a new car,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You might get into a different car, right? Whatever the case is. Let's say you have a car for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time for a car. But you got out of the car, still you. But when you get in the car, you make a move, the car does everything you want it to do. It's an extension of the body consciousness. You stop, you want to stop. You want to go, you press down and go. You want to take a left, you turn a little bit left. Starts here, goes here, does this. It's the same as the body. Now, like what I've experienced was that there is a life in here. It's beautiful. There's this life here. It's Mehcad and it's Robert. But there's also this soul, the soul's existence that has nothing to do with the body. It's just using the body as a vehicle. And that, in some way, shape, or form, that life force has been around for 14.5 billion years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't always a man. It wasn't always black. It doesn't have the same experiences that we have. In fact, you can go back if you look at it this way, you can go back long enough into that soul's experience where none of that was happening. None of that was happening, and you just knew truths. You just knew universal truths. So I think part of consciousness, at least where I've been studying and the people I've been studying with, is to start to understand the trajectory of the soul's life and the soul's intentional process, not just the humans. Mm-hmm. And many times, you'll think that when you really figure out what that soul is, like the influence that soul has, you're like, well, what am I? Like, what is this body? Like, how is this important? And like, there's this sort of process of like, wait, hold on. If this is this divine force that's inside of all of us, inside of me, like, does this human body mean nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's this other side of that goes, well, no, this divine force and this divine piece of light and evolution that is a cousin, that is a relative to every piece of matter in the entire universe, has chosen your body to express itself in.